Okay, so here we are, Ishaquatics, back here to show off some of the plants that were put into this 125-gallon aquarium, planted aquarium setup, a budget setup. So I don't know all the names of these plants, but I will try my best. So this one right here is probably, this is the most beginner plant you could ever start with right here, which is the rotundifolia, I believe. This thing grows like wildfire. I used to have a convict cichlid setup, and the convict cichlids, as you know, cichlids tend to dig up plants, so it's not really good to put plants with cichlids. However, the rotundifolia plant right here, it grew so fast that by the time the cichlids dug up this plant, it was already like growing like crazy. So that's why this one is a really good beginner plant. You don't have to have fertilizers. You don't have to have a planted substrate setup like this. You can just plant it straight into regular gravel and it will grow. Okay, so I have that there. The dwarf water lily, this is my first go round with the dwarf water lily, and when I got it, these things come in a bulb, right? There's like a bulb, and then there's like little leaves hanging off of it, and after about maybe 2-3 weeks, it starts to shoot off these the lily pads, and so that's what I've got going there. Okay, so then I've got the Anubias down here. Right, I got that. I want to say this plant right here is going to be the I want to say that's the hornwort. I think there's different species of hornwort. Last I checked. Don't know what that is, but it looks like it's related to the hornwort. That I also bought at the pet store. Now I've got a couple plants that I had taken out of the lake. Just, you know, sometimes the lake some plants will get kicked up and they'll start floating on the top. And this one right here, I don't know if you could see this one right here, this stringy one right here. That was taken out of a lake, and it's just multiplied. This thing grows like crazy. It's also over here as well, right by the dwarf water lily. But this all started with just a couple small pieces, and they grow out really well. I did some research on this plant, and the research I found says that it's really good at cleaning up a lot of the it's really good at cleaning up water. I believe if this is the correct plant, it says something like it's also used for treatment plants, for treating like sewage water and stuff like that. This one right here, I have no idea what this one is. Right here, let me zoom in here. This one right here, that's just kind of hanging up. That came out of the lake. I don't know what it is. Let me see if I can find another piece right here. That's another piece that came out of the lake. When I took it out of the lake, it was just a big tangled mess, and there was more like mature leaves that had matured, and there was like holes in them and stuff like that, and they just kind of like died off, so I took them out. But these are like young leaves that had grown in after I threw the adult leaves out. So that's that. Got some reds in here. I don't know what this plant is called right here, but I just like the leaves on it. It's really nice. This one right here, if I'm correct, I think I saw this one growing out of I forget the name of that kind of setup where it's like an aquarium down at the bottom, and then up at the top it's just kind of like, you know, branches and decorations and stuff. However, I saw some of the stems stemming out of the water, growing out of the water, but you have to have humidity, I believe, for this one to grow out of the water. Then I've got the, what's this called here? The darn it, my memory right now. I'll come back to that. Got water sprite. I was told that usually all you need is just one of these and it will just grow like crazy. You never have to buy one again. So I went and picked this one up. That is the water sprite. Then I've got a Java Ferns here that I super glued to the rocks. And these have to be glued or attached to some kind of something like a log or rocks. And as you can see, I actually have some younger Java Fern leaves that are coming up, that are growing in. And then I've got that large bush back there. I don't know the name of that plant. Just picked it up. Got some baby Java Ferns. There's another Java Fern species over here growing in. This is Japanese something. Don't remember the name of this plant. But it's supposed to be an easy plant to grow. And so that's growing in. I also picked up some water grass, but got this online. Not a good idea, especially if you don't have CO2. And if you're not planting like a lot of the grass, right? If you don't buy like a lot of it and cover the whole bottom of the aquarium. So yeah, when I got it in the mail, it was just kind of brown and it was just a mess. So it's there. And yeah, this is the setup. This is the 125 gallon setup. As far as the fish go, I got some neon tetras. Got some guppies. I took some of these guppies right here, like this one. No, I'm sorry, like this one right over here. I got that at a pet store on a discount because people who are not really breeders, who just had some, you know, babies at home, they'll bring them to the local pet store, and of course they'll buy them off of them for cheap and then resell them at a really inexpensive price. I thought they were feeders, but they're not. These are actual guppies that were someone else's pets. So picked them up. There's the mother swordtail right here. There's another female swordtail who is pregnant. I bought 4 swordtails. 2 of them died. The male died. The female died because I was trying to breed them, and I made the mistake of putting her in a breeder box, and she got really stressed out. She had some stillbirths, and the mother ended up dying. And what happened is when she got stressed out, she developed some kind of sickness and spread it to the male, and so they both died. And so I was looking at a breeder online, and he was saying that if you're trying to breed guppies, for example, I used the guppy example, then you should, the mother, when you separate a pregnant mother, you separate her into another tank and then put a little bit of aquarium salt. And so this go around, I actually have a 10 gallon that I set up for the mother swordtail. And so far, I'm just trying to stay away from the tank. I don't have a lot of lights. I put some hiding spaces, and I did add aquarium salt to her tank. And so far, it's only been a night, but she seems to be doing okay. So this is another female right here who I suspect might be pregnant. Not as far along as the mother swordtail that I have left, the other one. But I'd be interested to see how the babies come out, because they're just really pretty fish. I really like these red swordtails here. Then I've got angelfish. These angelfish, I bought them really cheap actually. Like 5 of them, I think they were like $5.99 each. and they were from a local breeder. So I'd like to try to breed these down the road and see. It's just a fun experience to watch. The babies growing up and stuff like that. And so I've got about 5 of those. We'll see what happens with them. Then there's a little male guppy over here. I believe that's a male, because that's definitely a female guppy. And I got the corridor catfish. I got maybe like 10 of these down here. I got a lot of bottom feeders for this tank. That's how this bottom is staying so clean. Lots of bottom feeders. I've got some snails, about 4 snails. One of those pest snails ended up in the tank, and I don't know where it is. But so far it's not eating up the aquarium. So, and it hasn't shown its face. Or should I say its shell in a while. Then I've got the ghost shrimp. These are actually feeder ghost shrimp. They're about 40 cents each. But I said, you know what? I want to see if I can breed these too. So when I brought them home, I actually had a ghost shrimp that looked like you could see the eggs in them. I separated her because I wanted to see if she would give birth, but it ended up just dying. Ghost shrimp don't live like a long time. I think they live to be like 6 months old and then they die. But I like to see if these things will multiply as well. It's always fun to watch. The minnows. The minnows, particularly that one, laid eggs the other day over on the glass scrubber over there, right underneath. And somebody came and ate the eggs. So they're in there. Maybe the next time they lay eggs again, I'll separate them. I just like I said, I just love to see the how they lay eggs and reproduce and stuff like that. It's just really cool. I say I had Java moss back there. That's Java moss. That right there, I attached with some sewing thread, and so far it looks like it's growing well. I have not fed the fish today. So as far as feeding goes, when I got a lot of these fish, the guy at the pet store told me, he said, put them in the tank. He's like, you don't need to feed them 3 times a day. That's just a gimmick to get your water dirty so you could buy more filters and all this stuff. He's like, you don't need to do that. He said, feed them every other day for the first week or so. He's like, and then he said, and then once a day after that. So these fish have been on a once a day feeding schedule. I notice if I go beyond once a day, I get algae really fast. I start to see it on the leaves, and so I didn't want that to happen. So yeah, so they are on a once a day schedule. I do the Easy Green once a day. They say some people do once throughout the whole week and just put the Easy Green in all at once. I don't like to do that. I like to spread it out. The Flourish I do twice a week. So this is it. And like I said, everything seems to be in balance now. There was an ick breakout, which I took care of. I got a product called Kick Ick, and that also took care of that. So I hope you like my 125-gallon setup. Like, subscribe, and share, everybody. Ishaquatics. Take care.